Russian language, lesson 1, Russian alphabet. As you might already know, Russian alphabet consists of 33 letters, some of which you might know and some of which you might not know. And obviously I will start with those that you might recognize from the English alphabet or somewhere else. The first letter, A. For example, Ad. Second letter V. For example, Vit. As you can hear, there's a distinct V sound. Next example, Vada. As you can hear the V sound, the hard sound. And it also might be pronounced, the letter might be pronounced like F. For example, Pavtor, Pavtor. The next letter, it's a vowel. It's a very common vowel in Russian language. Ye. For example, Beda. As you can hear, it has the sound E. The next letter, this is probably my favorite letter, but it's not so commonly used these days, especially on the internet, because Russian users are far too lazy to reach the top left corner of the keyboard, and instead they just use the letter Ye. So, for example, Yosh, Krёstny. As you can hear, this letter is pronounced like Yo. Something between those sounds. The next letter, the letter Z. Z. It has two sounds, Z, Z, and Z. For example, first of all, let's start with the hard sound. Zabor, Zabor. As you can hear, it has the distinct Z sound. This soft sound, Z. For example, zebra, zima. And by the way, it also has an S sound. For example, skolski. The next letter, it also might be recognizable by most of you. It's a letter K. Letter K. It has two sounds, K and K. For example, vek, kidать. As you can hear, you must realize the distinction between K and K. So the next letter, letter M. For example, mama, Miля. As you can hear, it also has two sounds, M and M. The next letter, it looks like H, but it's not H, it's letter N. It has two sounds, N and N. For example, not or nis. The next letter, it's again a vowel. It's also very commonly used in Russian language. It's one of the most used letters. When stressed, O is pronounced like O. For example, kot, zakon. And when unstressed, it's pronounced something between O and A, like vada. As you can hear, it has O has a sound A, but it's closer to the R sound. Next letter, the letter R. It looks like P, but it's letter R actually. It's pronounced like letter R, but you must realize that you need to roll it, otherwise it's not so pretty. It's not sounding so pretty as far as I'm concerned. For example, rom, ris, ris. As you can hear, it also has two sounds, the hard sound and the soft sound. So The next letter S. This, сидеть. As you can hear, those are the sounds S and S. The next letter T. Looks like T, and it's pronounced more or less like the letter T. For example, tema, most. Next letter U. Looks like Y, and it's pronounced like U. For example, urok. And the last letter of the bunch that you might recognize is letter H. However, it's not pronounced like the letter X, but it's pronounced like H or H. For example, hobby or хитрый. The next letter E. It's a vowel, but it looks like an upside down M. So it has two sounds, E and U. For example, хитрый, жить. Next letter J. For example, жизнь. As you can hear the clear sound J, and it also has a sh sound. For example, ложь. The next letter. The letter looks like E, but it has a small dash above it. For example, край. As you can hear, it has the sound Y. Май. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. The next letter L. For example, ложь, лист. As you can hear, those two words. In those two words, the letter L has the sounds L and L. And in some cases, the letter L is not pronounced. Just like K in knife, for example. So this one example is солнце. You don't hear the sound, neither the sound L nor the sound L in this way. The next letter P. It has two sounds, P and P. For example, после, писать. The next letter F. Two sounds, the soft one and the hard one. Федеральный, факт. The next letter C. For example, цикл. The next letter Ch. For example, час. Next letter Ш. For example, шаг. Letter Ш. For example, щетка. The next letter is a tricky one. It's called твердый знак, and it's literally translated like the hard sign. It brings the hardness to the sound that is standing before this letter. For example, съесть. As you can hear, it brings the first letter S, the sound S. For example, without this sign, you would hear сесть. So you would hear the soft sound. So it's crucial to use this letter correctly. The next letter U. For example, мы, крыша. The next letter, it's very similar to the heart sign, but it's called the soft sign. So it's the opposite of the hard sign. It brings this softness to the sound and letter that is standing before it. For example, дождь, делать, спать. As you can see that without this sign, for example, in the verb делать, it would be делать. It's not a word. It's not a word, but as an example, it serves quite a good example. And it's also a big deal to use this letter correctly, because for example, if you don't use this letter, you can have a coarse word or something bad. So as an example, мат, мать. The next letter e. For example, это, мэр. The penultimate letter, this one should be fairly easy to remember, as it corresponds to the English word you, and it's also pronounced like that, you. For example, юг, крюк. So the last letter is letter ya. It's a backwards R, so it should be quite easy to remember. For example, я, мяч. There are obviously some cases of special pronunciation and exceptions that I have not mentioned yet, but I will accent all of them as we go. But for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. Good luck.